What if you could live forever? It sounds like a dream come true, right? No more goodbyes, endless time to learn, travel, and experience everything life has to offer. But what if I told you that immortality might not be the paradise we imagine? What if it's actually a paradox? A cosmic trap that could lead to a fate worse than death itself. Today, we're diving deep into the immortality paradox. Let's start with the basics. What kind of immortality are we talking about? There are a few flavors. You could be ageless, forever young and immune to disease, but still vulnerable to, say, a falling piano or a really angry goose. Or you could be truly indestructible, biological God who can regenerate from anything. For the sake of our thought experiment, let's go with the full package. You can't die from old age, disease, or injury. You are, for all intents and purposes, eternal. In the beginning, it would be incredible. Imagine the possibilities. You could master every musical instrument, learn every language, read every book ever written. You could witness history unfold firsthand, watching civilizations rise and fall. You could travel to the stars, assuming humanity ever gets its act together and builds those spaceships. The first few centuries, maybe even the first few millennia, would be a whirlwind of adventure and discovery. You'd be a walking, talking library of human experience. But here's where the first crack in our perfect immortal life appears: relationships. Everyone you know and love will age and pass away. Your parents, your siblings, your friends, your partners, your children. You would attend an endless procession of funerals, watching generations of loved ones turn to dust while you remain unchanged. At first, you might try to keep making connections, but how many times can you watch your heart break before you build a wall around it? You'd see the same patterns, repeat the same joys, the same sorrows, the same mistakes, over and over again. Eventually, you might stop forming attachments altogether, becoming a lonely spectator to the fleeting lives of mortals. You'd be a ghost haunting the timeline of humanity. Then there's the problem of memory. Our brains aren't designed to store an infinite amount of information. After thousands of years, what happens to your earliest memories? Your childhood, the faces of your first loves, they might fade into a blurry haze, indistinguishable from a story you once read. You might forget who you were, or worse, you remember everything. Every mistake, every regret, every painful loss, replaying in your mind for eternity with perfect clarity. An endless loop of your own personal failures. Which is worse, forgetting who you are or being unable to forget a single painful moment? And what about progress? Society changes, technology evolves, cultures shift. You, however, are a product of your time. Imagine someone from the 1600s trying to navigate our world of smartphones and social media. Now multiply that by 10,000 years. The world would become utterly alien to you. Language, customs, values, everything would be different. You would be a living fossil, a relic of a bygone era, unable to truly connect with the people around you because their entire reality is built on concepts you can't comprehend. You would be the ultimate outsider forever. The psychological toll would be immense. Boredom is a powerful force. What do you do when you've done everything? When you've seen every corner of the earth, experienced every thrill, and learned every skill? Eternity is a very, very long time. The initial excitement would inevitably curdle into a crushing, soul-destroying ennui. You might seek out more and more extreme sensations, just to feel something, anything. But even that would eventually become monotonous. When nothing is new, nothing is exciting. Your existence would become a flat line of meaningless repetition. Now let's zoom out to the grand cosmic scale. Humanity might not be around forever. We could wipe ourselves out, or a giant asteroid could do the job for us. What then? You'd be left alone on a dead or empty planet. What do you do for the next billion years, until the sun expands and swallows the earth? You'd just wait. floating in the silent, cold void of space, a solitary consciousness, trapped in an indestructible body, as stars are born and die around you. And it gets even bleaker. The universe itself isn't eternal. According to our current understanding, it's heading towards a heat death, a state where all energy is evenly distributed. Everything is the same temperature, and no work can be done. No stars, no light, no life. Just a cold, dark, empty expanse. And you, still there, floating in the absolute nothingness, for an infinity of infinities. Unable to die, unable to live, unable to even think, as your consciousness slowly dissolves in a sea of eternal, featureless black. This is the immortality paradox. The very thing that promises ultimate freedom, freedom from death could become the ultimate prison. It highlights something profound about our own lives. Our mortality, the fact that our time is limited, is what gives our lives meaning. It's the deadline that motivates us to create, to love, to strive, to make our mark. The finite nature of our existence is what makes every moment precious. The bitterness of goodbye is what makes the sweetness of reunion so special. The knowledge that our story has an end is what pushes us to write a good one. So, while the dream of living forever is seductive, maybe it's better left as a dream. Maybe the real gift isn't an infinite quantity of time, but the ability to make the most of the time we have, to live fully, to love deeply, and to accept the beautiful, terrifying, and ultimately meaningful reality that all things must come to an end. Perhaps our mortality isn't a curse, but the very thing that makes us human. What do you think? Would you choose immortality if you could, knowing all the potential downsides? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you all have to say. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the paradoxical, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest questions of science and philosophy. See you next time.